All right, everyone. So, right now, the Baltimore Orioles are playing on Apple TV. I'm not checking the score because obviously the Baltimore Orioles do not want me to watch this game right now, but I'm not going to pay for Apple Plus or Apple TV at all. And this is something that you should take into consideration for hockey as well. Any game that is blacked out and you're a fan in that market and you don't get to see it on television, don't go to the stadium. Don't listen, don't get an Apple TV Plus subscription or a Hulu or a Peacock subscription or whatever. Don't do it. Just don't do it. And if you have the subscriptions, just just don't watch it for the night. Read a book, do something else. Watch a different game. Watch something that's on television. Don't give it. Don't pay um, like hundreds of dollars just to watch your teams. Do you know right now in the NFL that in order to watch some games, you're gonna need to um, pay $85 for ESPN Plus, Amazon Prime, all these other subscriptions, and they're going to run you up to five. As about as much of actually going to the game to see your team. Uh, you know, Obviously you're not going to, like to get all these games on television. Seems like pretty stupid just for like 8, 9 regular season games for most teams. And I don't understand why many fans are doing this. Stop giving your money to these companies. And if you really want to know the game and you want to listen to the action, listen to the radio at this point. Go back to radio, and if you want to listen to it, if you want to know the action and just want to get tuned in on the action, listen to the radio at this point. Do a reverse boycott of these teams. Let Amazon spend all their money on Prime and whatever. I'm not going to watch it, and I don't care what the sports bars do. I literally don't care at this point. And maybe the sports bars should also take charge and protest this, because this is still a hockey YouTube channel, but I mean, I've seen blackout games here and there too, and some games are on ESPN Plus and whatever, and any game that your local market you know channel is not broadcasting. If you don't get to see it, I'm not going to participate in it. I'm not going to Hulu at this point. I don't care. We've streamed enough at this point. You know, like the only streaming is that should be happening is on YouTube and Twitch or whatever at this point, or whatever streaming websites should be there. It shouldn't apply to our sports. Billions of dollars these owners make every year. They want to black out these markets too. I don't care. And I know that the NFL is a little bit unique. It's not like hockey. They don't play 82, 84 games a year. And at this point, I think that you need to just really, take into consideration of what you do with your money, especially now. You don't need to give these companies billions of dollars. You don't need to. At Amazon, Hulu, and Disney Plus or whatever do not need this. And if they want to black out your games, you say, okay, We're not watching these games. You can go screw yourself. We will. We're not even going to go to the stadium to watch these games. You're going to play these games. We're going to do a reverse boycott until you end these blackouts. So anyone who wants to put out a blackout, we're not going to watch this. And I hate Netflix too. The game was on Netflix too. The Oriole, like the Giants and had their game on Netflix. Their opening day with the Yankees. Why the hell is any opening day even blocked out? And what if you're a Yankees fan and you want to watch it? And what if you're a Giants fan? Unless you're going to the stadium of where the opening day is happening, guess what? You're not watching the game unless you have Netflix. And that's pretty weird. You tell someone that 20 years ago who was getting their Netflix DVDs in the mail that, oh yeah, we're going to have this streaming service, and try and explain streaming. We're still barely at Blu-ray at that point, but explain the streaming to that person and saying that, oh, even though you're in the market of the San Francisco Giants and the New York Yankees, and also try and explain the interleague play there too, but especially on opening day, but try and explain all of this, and let's say they accept that with the baseball, they say, you know, really? So you're telling me that this company that sends me movies in the mail that I can return at any point is now going to prevent me from watching the team that I'm in the market for? Why would I pay for that? Like explain that to someone 20 years ago. They're not going to. They wouldn't buy this 20 years ago. And I think it's because of the leap in technology that we've had since 2006, and just things also getting more costly in the long run. But I say at this point, I'm starting to like, you know, the Nationals at this point. I'm starting to, when it comes to listening to baseball, because the Orioles really don't. You're still kind of out of the market when you're in, um, the very south of Maryland. You're not going to get the Z1043 hits sort of thing. So the radio is probably still going to be your best friend at this point. And if you're maybe 50 miles away from your stadium, you're going to may not pick it up. You just might not pick it up too. And I never listened to the Orioles on the radio too. And come to think of it, there are people in the Midwest, there are people in New Mexico, there are people who do not have any big four major sports markets, who are going to get blacked out. And you take someone in Santa Fe, they're not going to be able to listen to, the Avalanche for certain games. They're on the radio. They're not going to be able to do that. They're going to have to, they're going to have to either, fork over the money to Hulu, or, and they might, and you're going to get piracy, and you're absolutely going to get piracy. And if, and if, and if owning, and if you don't, and imagine this, if you don't own it, sort of thing, especially with video games, and downloading it, if you can't own it, then piracy is not, then it isn't piracy, because guess what? You technically could never own it, so what the heck could be pirated, sort of thing. So we're going to get a lot of legal complaints too with this. So at this point, maybe that's kind of why I'm listening to the Nationals at this point, and why I've still come around to liking them a little more, maybe because they're just more accessible than the Orioles have been. And 1067 The Fan is on iHeartRadio. And also, it's also easy to listen to the Cubs too, especially if you have a VPN. So VPNs and streaming are going to be able to do the thing. VPNs and iHeartRadio are going to do the thing um, more in the future, and you're not even pirating at that point. Hockey is, hockey's already hard enough to watch. I mean, True TV and TNT and all this stuff. And I didn't even know what True TV was a few years ago, too. The TV thing is just so stupid at this point. And I've been blacked out um, the uh, from the Capitals before because I don't have ESPN Plus. What the heck? You give me all these packages. You tell me to, oh, you can't watch it on Peacock. You have to have ESPN Plus. You have to have Disney Plus. No, you need Hulu for this one. You need Netflix for that one. Like, and you have like 10, 12 packages at this point, and I'm thinking, you know, dude, enough already. I wonder if people just randomly just turned off the TV, like what Kendrick Lamar said, and they truly turned off the TV, as in like no one bought a new TV, no one was listening in on it. They unplugged the TV from the walls, and they just either listened on the radio or somewhere else. Um, or somewhere else, or they actually went to the game to go see the Sharks, and basically you're living in 1954 at that point. But yeah, the one thing I like about the NHL app is that you can listen to any game you want from any station you want. If you want to listen to the Sharks, guess what? You can listen to the Sharks when they're playing, and you don't need a VPN to listen in on it. You don't need iHeartRadio for that. And I know it's not optimal. It's not like listening to baseball, but guess what? Hockey does it right. Hockey can do it right at this point. But the streaming services, you get to, the Leafs fans, they really have a right to complain. I get this. $20 beers and everything of the stuff that they need to do to suffer every year watching their team. They do not deserve to get blacked out. This team, the fans are some of the most loyal fans I've seen. Since 1967, and there it goes, 6-7. Since 1967, the team has not won a cup. They have struggled so much, and the Leaf fans still pack Scotiabank Arena. They packed Maple Leaf Gardens. They did all this, but I don't think they deserve any blackouts. New York, Chicago, and LA, any blackouts, especially for them over there, you have got to be insane at that point. I'm not going to ever want this, want the, want to see the, I don't want to see any blackouts ever again. In 162 games, 82, now coming up to 84, you're going to see more blackouts in the NHL. And if they want to black it out, don't go to the arena. Don't go to the arena to see your team play. And if you want to know what the action is, either wait for the end of the game or just tune in on radio, because it's unfair. Do a reverse boycott, end these blackouts enough is enough for all the big four sports. Let's end the blackouts now. Thanks very much. If you liked what you heard here, comment, share, like, subscribe, and peace out.